This show is brought to you by HostBaby.com, web hosting for musicians.
It's episode 14 of the Music Marketing Monday podcast, and it's also springtime, as long as you're in the Northern Hemisphere of the globe. And that means we are about to embark on the summer fairs and festivals season. A great goldmine of opportunity for independent musicians, and that is exactly what we're going to discuss on this episode. Hey, Billy, pass the suntan lotion. I'm ready to party.
Information, inspiration, motivation for the modern musicpreneur.
Time to start your week right.
Here it comes, Music Marketing Monday, with your host, Bob Baker,
Mr. Buzz Factor,
and Billy Gryzak.
The Music Marketing Mind.
Ready? Are you sure?
Set.
Here it comes. Swing, baby.
7 plus 7 equals 14. That means this must be a double lucky episode. Yep. Here we are. Look, I'm already cracking my partner up here.
It's the Schoolhouse Rock version
That's
of
right,
Music
man.
Marketing Monday.
Fantastic. Well, you already told him what we're listening to. Anyway, I'm Billy Gryzak, the Music Marketing Mind, and my giggling buddy over here is...
Mr. Buzz Factor Bob Baker from thebuzzfactor.com.
Are you sure?
I think so. And yes, last time I looked.
Excellent. So anyway, hey, I don't know about you. So we're recording this episode in the month of May, just about a week before my birthday. Hint. Anybody's interested? May 23rd, my birthday. So anyway, what's the weather like there in St. Louis, Bob?
It actually had, after some pretty hot days where we had to actually turn on the AC, it is now cold again. I'm in my sweatpants and a hoodie and even a cap on my head, which luckily we're not doing video. So it's gotten cold again here, but I know spring is right around the corner. And by the way, my birthday is at the end of June 29th, for those of you who are going to be planning your gift giving.
That's right, man. And
but Billy comes first.
That's right, man. Anyway, so I've actually already started playing outdoor gigs with my bands, and it's still a little chilly. It's a little early for me, but we are heading into the fair and festival season, and we've had many requests to do a show on this, and that's something I have a lot of experience with, actually, in all the different projects I've been in over the years. I've been very lucky to do a lot of outdoor events, and I do have a lot of things to share with those.
That's why, yeah, and I know this about you. That's why you're going to be driving this bus pretty much today. I've got a couple of little anecdotes, but I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say from your vast experience. I've played in the occasional fair and festival over the years, but I know it's a whole art form, a whole way of dealing with the bookers and the environment of the performance and all that. So I'm looking forward to this, like the listeners, of what you have to say, Bill.
Oh, cool. Well, let's just get started then. I guess the first thing is I'd like to probably tell you that there's a vast difference between a fair and a festival right off the bat, and you have to decide if it's something you really, really want to do. For instance, if you're going to be playing, you're going to be playing outside. 99% of the time at a fair or festival, outdoor events. So for starters, if you're not the kind of person that does well outside, maybe this isn't for you. You know what I'm saying? Personally, I used to do a lot of fairs. Fairs to me usually mean, and nothing against fairs, I think they're awesome, but fairs usually mean to me the smell of animal manure and diesel fuel, because there's a lot of, like trucky things and, derbies and car races and a lot of animals, and they pay really, really, really well. They really do. I mean, for the amount of work you put in, fairs are like one of the best gigs you could possibly get. But
Right.
Yeah, and again, it's hot, and I sweat, and I don't like sweat, so
That's another thing we have in common. I just now discovered. I have very active sweat glands and don't, look too good in heat, but whatever.
Right. So my best advice, first of all, before you embark on a career in fairs and festivals, make sure that you're actually ready for the reality of the fair and festival life. You know what I'm saying? So
Right, be prepared for it. And you painted a wonderful picture of the what do you call it, nasal experience of the. I was thinking more like, cotton candy and popcorn, but if you want to go with manure and diesel fuel, I'll go for that. It's both parts of this.
I'm being brutally honest. I mean, that's my experience with fairs and festivals. Also, you need to be. I guess I'm going to kind of talk a little bit of the cons first, just because I'm in that mode right now. And also, now festivals are a little bit different. Festivals typically are set up more for music and more for, it's a music event, usually. And that's what people are going for. They're going to be entertained or, and to see bands and stuff like that. Where fairs, the music is like an add-on to like their 4-H thing and all the other stuff they have going on. You see what I'm saying?
That is a good point. Yeah, where music is the focal point as opposed to just one of many, carnival rides and all kinds of stuff.
Exactly.
Competing for competition.
Absolutely. And each one has its own way of attracting people to the shows, which, Bob, this may turn into a multi-parter, believe it or not. We'll see what happens because we're not even getting to the point about getting the gigs yet. And I'm still just telling you about what they are, So music festivals are typically music-oriented festivals, or in Wisconsin, I like to think that Wisconsin is kind of like the king of festivals. We have a festival for everything. We have a bratwurst festival. We have a cheese festival. We have a paper festival. We have a chicken festival. We have you have no idea, dude. We have like hundreds and a festival for everything here, So I guess if anybody wants to play festivals, I'd say come and visit Wisconsin because
visit Wisconsin, yes.
Yeah, and in fact, Wisconsin is home to, ready for this?
I'm bracing myself. Go ahead.
Seriously, the world's, I didn't say the nation's, I said the world's largest music festival is in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Did you know that?
No. What is it? What is it called?
It's called Summerfest.
Oh, is it in Green Bay or where is that?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Oh, you just said Milwaukee.
Yeah, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It happens the end of June, beginning of July, and it's roughly around 800 to 1,000 bands, and there's about 80 bands a day play, and we're talking national acts, and it's amazing. I mean, they have basically what they do is they've set up these gigantic amphitheaters and stages. I mean, they're huge with state-of-the-art production, and there's about a dozen of them. And when you go in for free, you can see bands like Cheap Trick, Dweezil Zappa, the Four Tops, for the price of admission. I mean, there isn't any additional admission for those people. And it's just amazing. You just walk from stand to stand and eat cheese and drink beer and listen to music. I mean, that's what happens.
I was wondering if a cheese reference would come up regarding Wisconsin. Even you, a resident.
Even me. So I'm saying, but I mean, there you go. So anyway, so there's fairs, there's festivals, and then there's what I call pseudo festivals. And pseudo festivals are special events that are wrapped around something like Thomas the Train, okay, which is an event that I do. They're not real festivals, but Thomas the Train comes and visits, or some places have like their pumpkin Halloween thing or different events that aren't real festivals, but they have the festival vibe, and the rules of playing the gig are pretty much the same as a festival.
Right. They're wannabe festivals, it sounds like.
Exactly,
to me, but they have themes like, largest rhubarb pie or some kind of
absolutely
hot dog eating contest or something.
Absolutely, yeah. They're all over. Now that we said that, do you want to do it? I mean, great. Yeah, if I haven't talked you out of it, super. Great. Now, a couple of things you need to know before you can go play a fair and festival is, and this is a huge one, is these are outdoor and they're family oriented. Outdoor and family oriented. So
no curse words, no nothing satanic, and
not typically unless you're playing the satanic festival,
satanic family event.
Yeah, yes. the pagan worship festival. I don't know, Boy, we're going to get lots of mail on this one.
Now, pagans aren't so bad. Now, they actually, are very environmental friendly. So let's not lump them into satanic things.
This is true. I'm sorry. But anyway, so again, when you're doing these things, you got to remember, it's an all ages environment, even if you're in the beer tents. And that's another thing to think of too. Everybody thinks of the big stage, but the truth of the matter is, at any given fair or any given festival, it breaks down into a lot of different types of gigs that are available. Okay. And so there are usually different types of stages, different types of themes for the stages, different types of equipment that's available for the stages. Oh, and one thing that's always horrible, getting in and getting out. So if you have
so the logistics of load in and yeah, I would imagine. I mean, it would be a little bit of a nightmare. You know, just setting up in a normal bar can have its issues, but when you're like having to go through traffic or whatever to get to the stage, and there's other multiple bands and all this stuff, so it's a little bit of a logistics nightmare. Is that what I'm getting from you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even just getting to the venue can be horrible if it's a big enough fair or festival. And then once you get in there, nobody knows where to go. And then by the time they tell you where to get there, I mean, if let's put it this way, if you got a 12 o'clock slot, you better be there at 8 in the morning.
just to get to the stage on time. Load in.
I actually missed a show one time. I had a 12 o'clock slot. I left my house at 8 o'clock in the morning. It was a 2-hour drive, and I missed my show because I couldn't get into the grounds. So that's another thing you need to think about. Now, some of them, you also need to know if they're going to be providing any type of gear, like backline equipment, which is, of course, are you bringing your own drums? Are you bringing your own amplifiers? Or do you just walk in with guitars? And do they provide sound? Do they provide lights? If they don't provide sound or lights, you better have a sound system that's capable of working outdoors. Lots of things to think about. Again, most of the fairs and festivals I've come across offer one of two things. They either offer big money or they offer big exposure and maybe not as much money. You know what I'm saying? But they can be great for your career because you have the opportunity to be seen by a lot of people. And when you're being seen by a lot of people, it gives you an opportunity to move a lot of merchandise, an opportunity to, what's the word I'm looking for? Get people on your mailing list, get them on your text list, things like that. Also, something else you need to be aware of, if you do bring merch to a lot of fairs and festivals, they want a cut of your profit.
That's important to know too. And I assume another benefit would be the clout or that it adds the credibility it adds to your resume and your press kit, or to say you have, because sometimes these benefits extend beyond the people that hear you at the event. If you can list a number of festivals, it makes you look a little bit more established, I assume.
Well, let's put it this way. This year, I'm headlining the Kids and Family stage. I'm doing 6 shows at the world's largest music festival in Summerfest.
How cool! Did it help? Did it help that you've done previous festivals and had that on your list of accomplishments?
Yes, and actually, it's one of those situations. How I land at Summerfest is a funny story. I don't know what the heck. I'll tell you the story. One of the ways that you can get into fairs and festivals, it's really difficult. I'm going to give you some hints on how to get in shortly. One of the things that some people do is they use services like Sonic Bids and Gig Salad, things like that, And I had what I would call not the greatest experience with a service like that. Basically, I had submitted for 2 or 3 years to get into Summerfest. And after my 3rd year, I got a reply back that says, "We're sorry, but you're just not right for Summerfest," or whatever. I don't know, whatever they sent me, some letter, some form letter, And 2 days later, very interesting story, I got a call from Summerfest and says, "Mr. Billy, we want you at Summerfest." And I'm like, "Great, that's awesome." I said, "Did you hear from me through this service?" And they were like, "What service?" I mean, I'd rather not mention the service, but but so.
What was their answer then? How did they hear about you?
Well, it was the thing that you and I always say: if you want to get work, you need to be out there working. And apparently, I had done some shows around Milwaukee the year before, and they loved what I did and wanted to get me on Summerfest. And because I had my own website, they were able to find me and book me, and I've been a staple there now for about 6 or 7 years.
Wow, that is awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're finished with that story. I know I have one from our. So we've mentioned her. I think in at least one other episode. Danica Holmes is a mutual friend of ours, and she was in one of my master classes that we all three of us that I facilitated, and you and her were students or whatever. So you know her. She currently lives in Nashville, but she's originally from Iowa. And so a couple of years ago, there was this new festival festival called the Heartland Jam Music Festival that was taking place in Davenport. And so Danica, being sort of a local, homegrown act, wanted to get wanted to try to get a bill, on the main stage. So she did the typical thing, went to whatever the website and, reached out to the contact there and maybe emailed a couple of times and never heard back from them. And a lot of artists at that point just would have stopped, and said, oh, well, I guess they're not interested. But no, she actually, I have a quote from her. I did a blog post on this that I'll link to in my show notes at thebuzzfactor.com under the podcast link there. But she says, I decided to take matters into my own hands and let the Heartland Jam know I was serious. So she says one night she launched an impromptu Facebook campaign. The idea was simple. We asked our fans to post to Heartland Jam's Facebook page to bring Danica to the festival. And so by later that evening, 100 people had posted on that Facebook page of the festival, showing their support. And then, like by 9:00 that same night, she got an email from the festival promoter that read, "Wow, your fans have really spoken." And then the next day they were booked as like the opening act to kick off the entire festival on the main stage. So that's a pretty amazing story, huh?
She's just amazing. The stuff that she does, it blows me away. Absolutely. And that's the way you do it. You just, a lot of times here, check it out. A lot of times these people are just so busy. And they're so they're being hit up by everybody. And many, many, many times, Bob, I'd probably say 70, 80% of the time, these people are all volunteers.
This is true. They get interns or whatever. They're operating in a limited budget. They may have sponsors covering it, but they're still strapped.
But still, like our festival here in De Pere, the one in Green Bay. I mean, the entire thing is like run by the Chamber of Commerce or something with volunteers. I mean, nobody gets paid to do it. And even Summerfest, Summerfest is like 95% volunteers. It's amazing. It's the world's biggest, So when you're a volunteer, that means you have a life. And you may have really good intentions. You may want it, like that minute you were thinking, well, man, I'm going to call, Bob, I'm going to call Billy, but then something comes up and then,
Mm-hmm.
It's just like your laundry list, how many days have I forgotten to do my laundry this week? You know what I mean? Same thing.
Well, I love this. I love this as an example of that. She didn't get stuck in the tunnel vision of I tried the traditional way and it didn't work. Oh well, then just be disgruntled and say how lousy festivals are and all this stuff. She instead said, well, what's the bigger question? What's the bigger goal here? And that is, I want to play the festival. Okay, so that approach didn't work. What else can I try? So I'm not using that as an example of here's the way to the alternate route to get into a festival. It's just what worked for her. So you might try the same thing on another festival's Facebook page and still may not hear back from them. But just the idea here is to keep trying different routes if playing on a festival is important to you.
Absolutely. Now, having said all that, I'm going to actually share some methods to help you get some fair and festival jobs, okay? And this is like hardcore stuff. To be honest with you, at this point, we should probably tell everybody thanks for listening. Yeah. And then for just, $49.97 or $47.95, whatever it is, we'll give you this report step by step how to book your fair and festival gigs. But guys, we're not doing that. This is free because, we love you, all right? And we appreciate you listening. So
that's right. And just before you go into that, as I look at the time, I'm thinking this, you're right. This is at least a two-parter. So let's make this one all about explaining the festival environment and then approaches to getting gigs. And maybe next week we'll talk about playing the gigs and
okay,
maybe.
Well, let's see, because this actual getting the gig stuff might actually take longer than you think. So let me do an introduction to getting the gig, and then we'll see where we're at in time. How's that sound?
And then next week it'll be $47 to access episode 15.
Yeah, that's only if you order now because the price is going to go up.
That's right, and operators are standing by.
That's right.
Although some of them, I believe, are seated. But couldn't resist.
That was a good one, Bob.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Oh, man. Anyway, so
go ahead, tease them. It's about tease
right.
them with your intro there.
Well, first of all, here, check this out. This is vital, and this is what's going to kick you in the pants. And actually, I think this is what kicks most bands booking in the pants anyway. If you want to book a gig somewhere, you need to know when their booking season is. This is a biggie. When is their booking season? Because what I find, like say in the kids music market, for instance, everybody wants to play libraries, you know? So library season starts usually in like June, okay? But a lot of the children's artists that I've run across don't even think about booking their library shows until May, you know, April or May. But guess what? Do you know when all the library bookings get done?
A lot earlier, I'm guessing.
They'll start as early as the September before, and usually by January they're done.
Wow. So basically, we're giving you advice for the summer of 2015. For some things.
Honestly, yes. But there are things that we're going to share with you in the next episode that you're going to do now in 2014 to solidify your success in 2015. Again, I think we should be charging for this stuff. But anyway, moving on. So that's the most important thing. Now, what you need to understand is fairs and festivals, especially fairs, they have what are called fair associations. Okay? Now, a lot of people don't know this, but I just on a whim, I Googled just fair association, and I got, 6 million hits, something like that. But like, for instance, the International Association of Fairs and Expositions, the Wisconsin Association of Fairs, State Fair Association, Rocky Mountain Association of Fairs, Michigan, Sawyer County, DeSoto, Piedmont, you know, it goes on, Minnesota, Florida. Every state has their own fair and festival association, okay? And then there's subversions of those, and then there's national, international. And what these groups do is they have a convention. A lot of people don't know this. And they have a convention once a year. And at their convention, this is what happens. That all the people that want to sell them stuff for their fair, and we're not just talking about music here. We're talking about, think of all the things that happen in fairs. You need food vendors. You need stage rigging. You need, monster trucks. You need linen. You need emergency supplies, porta potties, all that stuff. So all the people that want to network with the fair and festival people are going to buy booths and stay for the weekend. It's usually like a 2 or 3 day event. Then during that 2 or 3 day event, they usually have live bands playing in what are basically called showcases, which are essentially auditions for the fair and festival people that you're not paid for. Not only you're not paid for them, but in many instances you have to pay money to get a table and submit your act to be on the stage to be seen. And usually it takes 3 or 4 years of being a member of the Fair Association to get a slot to be showcased.
Ooh, I'm getting tired just thinking about all this.
So again, the fairs pay really well, and you get to be seen by a lot of people, and you get to open for really big acts. I mean, my friends of mine, my old drummer, for instance, the guy played drums with me for like 15, 20 years. He's in a full-time band that plays fairs and festivals as their meat and potatoes. And I mean, just in the last couple of years, he's worked with Pat Benatar, he's worked with Whitesnake, Aerosmith. I mean, the list goes on. I mean, it's just like, so I mean, if that's something you want to do too, this is another great thing to think about. Now, there are lots of ways around a lot of the things I just told you. And that's kind of what we'll get into next week as far as things you can do this year to set yourself up for success next year. Okay.
Yeah, and I have a feeling the opportunities in the some of the locally, the municipality fairs, like there's a ton of them, things that go on throughout the year or throughout the summer, little street fairs and so on, where there's live music. And I bet you some of those, are still having, if they're in July or August, they still may have open slots in there, and that you can still get into or create your own festival. I'm a big, maybe we can talk about that next week too.
Absolutely. I mean, create your own success, create your own event. There's definitely no reason why you can't do that at all. So, but most of these outdoor things do book really early. Now, the other thing though to consider, because I don't know where you live, where you who are listening right now, but like there are people here that live in Wisconsin and they do all the fairs and festivals during the summer months, right, in the States here. But what they do is then they go down to Florida and play the fairs and festivals in Florida, which happen during the, guess what, winter months, because it's too hot to do outdoor festivals then. So even though fair and festival season is here, and maybe it's too late to get bookings here for a lot of those, guess what? Prime time to start booking stuff for Florida right now.
Wow, Billy, you are a veritable encyclopedia of fair and festival knowledge.
Dude, I've been doing it for like 30 years, man.
That's crazy. And the association thing you were just talking about, getting connected to that whole circuit, it sounds like it's comparable to like the NACA, the college circuit too, where you kind of have to tap into the conventions that they have and all this stuff. It's a parallel path almost to that.
Absolutely. I mean, it really is. And there's, like I say, there's a lot of insider secrets that I'll be happy to share with people that you probably, unless you've done it, unless you've seen it, you probably don't have a clue that you could do this and be really successful at it. And I can't wait to share it. I'm like so excited.
Cool. Instead of charging for the next episode, maybe we should have a tip jar. A digital tip jar, PayPal or
digital tip jar. Yeah. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, we'll work on something.
We're just brainstorming here, folks.
Yeah, and in fact, hey guys, remember, this is your show. This isn't our show. I mean, here's the thing. Bob and I just really like talking about this stuff. This is the truth, and Bob, I'm speaking for you, so jump in if you hate my guts or something. But I just
let me see what you have to say first. Go ahead.
I just love talking to you. I mean, I've been. As you know, I've been your biggest. I think I'm one of your biggest fans. I've been since for going on now 15 years or more. And just to get the opportunity to talk to you as friends every week. I mean, that makes my week. It really does. I'm not bull crapping here. I mean, that's just the way it is. So,
well, thank you, Billy. Yeah, I appreciate it. I now can't remember if I told you on while we were recording or off the air. But I've been. I mean, I'm pretty much like the DIY, self-reliant, guy. I've done most of this stuff on my own. But this is a nice break from my normal routine, and being able to collaborate with you on this, I think, is not only more fun for me, but I think it's actually pretty cool for the listeners too to hear a conversation instead of just a monologue.
Yeah, so. And like I say, so this is your show, guys, the listeners, and to be honest, me and Bob might still talk. We might not talk as often, but we like talking about stuff you want to hear about. So like today's show, the last show, we're starting to get on a roll where people are telling us what they want to hear. So we want you to design our schedule. You know what I mean? So please.
So we don't have to. Please. I don't like thinking about this stuff.
Yeah, I got a frantic message from Bob this morning, right, everybody? It was like 8 or 9 in the morning. He was like, "What is the topic today?"
I screamed. It was all caps.
Yeah. No. Anyway, so all right, so we're going all over the place here. I know.
Let's wrap this one up and just and have them. Yeah, if people want to let us know, have their festival and fair questions or comments, you want to give them some ways to do that.
Yes.
On Twitter, of course, use the hashtag MusicMM, all one word. It's the number sign MusicMM.
MusicMM.
That's right. You can join Billy's Facebook group, which is called, is it Music Marketing Mind?
Music Marketing Mind on Facebook, right? And don't forget, you can find Bob at...
let's see. Well, at thebuzzfactor.com. I like to send everybody to my website, but I'm also Mr. Buzz Factor with MR Buzz Factor on Twitter. From thebuzzfactor.com, you can get links to all my social media places, so you can so we can hang out there. And so I like to hang out wherever you are instead of forcing you to come to a certain place. So give you many options.
And not me. I make everybody come to me.
Yeah, we got to be different in some areas of our lives. So.
And do you have any big news for this week?
Well, I just this morning am posting. I'm kind of putting out some feelers for people who want to do a music marketing, like a mastermind, a very short term, like 3 or 4 week program where I get anywhere from 5 to 7 people together and we get on the phone. Actually, I want to do this like for 1 hour twice a week, like Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Wow!
And each call we focus on one person in the group. They tell us, their current situation and what they're struggling with or what they want advice on. And then everybody in the group, will brainstorm during this hour just on them. And so, I want to limit it and just do it in a short period of time while everybody's interest level in this is high. And so I'm just putting out the feelers. You can find that at thebuzzfactor.com. Click on the blog tab. And there should be a recent blog post where I say, "Hey, you want to join my music marketing mastermind group?" Got to watch how I say that.
By the way,
that's what I got going on. Yeah.
By the way, I just want to say to everybody, if you don't do this, you're crazy.
That's right. It is,
all right.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, my big thing is after you're done listening to this on Monday today, I'm going to be posting this nice and early because at which I don't always do. I apologize. It's sometimes a little rough getting up that early and getting it going, but I will get it up nice and early Monday morning because I have a brand new web show starting today. And you're going to love this one, Bob. You probably don't even know about it, but I'm starting a weekly web show on Concert Window, and the show is called How to Quit Your Day Job to Become a Full-Time Musician.
Wow.
And it
takes place on Mondays?
Yeah, so basically listen to this and then hop over to Concert Window. It's going to be at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and it's about 30, 45 minutes of me talking about, how to make the transition from having to be tied to a day job to actually creating a living through your art, through your music, which I've done pretty much my entire life. And I know many people that do it, and I'm going to be doing some case studies, some suggestions, and it's all through Concert Window. So,
that launches on May 19th. It looks
right.
On Monday. Okay,
yeah.
And then every Monday thereafter.
Every Monday, unless I've got a gig or I'm on the road, in which case I'll reschedule. But it's a weekly show, and I'm really excited about. We're getting a lot of positive feedback on the concept.
Awesome. That's very cool. Well, let's wrap this puppy up and let people get on with their week.
Okay.
Their day.
All
Unless
right.
you got something else you got to say.
I don't. Well, actually, I would like to hear somebody on the speak pipe. So give them that information real quick.
Yeah, and I always link to this from my, it's on this web, this podcast is on Spreaker, and Billy hosts it there, but I also post them on my site at thebuzzfactor.com, and you click the podcast link and you'll find all the shows there. So I always link to this if you don't have a way to write it down or remember it, but it's at speakpipe.com/Mr. Buzzfactor. Again, Mr. is just MR, not spelled out. And that's where you can leave us a digital voice message. If you have the ability just to record an audio question or comment, because you got your chops set up on your computer to do that. You can also just email us or somehow get us a digital file. But yeah, we'd love to incorporate listener feedback and actually hear your voice on our show.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I guess that's time. We got to get out of here and let the folks,
That's right. Have a great day. Have a great week. We'll see you with more festival tips and Billy's innermost secrets. On festivals, at least.
Inner circle.
Bye-bye. Bye now.
See ya.
Are you still there? Excellent. Now would be a good time to visit hostbaby.com for your free 30-day trial. Of course.